Well, we've come down to Little Horseshoe for a charity event that Keith Sykes now have sorted out, and I had the challenge of trying to stalk one out of the edge using some products from Free Spirit, which is our little 6-foot tree rod, a Dower Gold Spool 2 600, and field testing ESP's new line. Been quite lucky again for the camera. I've managed to sort of catch one. So at the moment, she's in the net. We're just going to put her up, weigh her, and take it from there. Quite a ferocious take, quite a good fight. What's that? 17.2, 4, 6, 17 and a half. As you can see, it's a proper old stunning carp. Whether they're 17, 20, 30, 40, they all deserve a bit of respect and to be looked after on the bank. They're proper old warriors. So, and as I said, it's not, a lot of people get sidetracked about size, but to me, as long as you're catching, and you're catching consistently, I've always viewed it that the bigger and better fish will come along. Size is irrelevant, it's the bites. Keep getting bites and the better fish will come. As you can see, proper, stunning Little Horseshoe mirror. Like I said, where it was on a little 6-foot tree rod, as you can appreciate, didn't have too much control over it. Luckily Phil was on the scene and all, he's done a bit of videoing with it, so yeah, it was a good 2.5, 3 minutes. And like I said, you'll find these smaller fish will tear about a lot more than the big ones. The big ones will just tend to plod. But as my wife keeps saying, size ain't everything, so like I said, to me they're all welcome. You can see in front of the shot here the kit that I called it on, Free Spirit tree rod. Very handy for these sort of situations where you need to not fish into snags, but I'd say get into gaps of bushes where you think you can land fish. Don't be putting rigs in silly places where you're going to get a bite and not land them. You need to be able to land them. The Dower 2600 is an ideal reel for this. Nice little small compact reel that sits well on these rods. And as I said, I can't emphasise enough, fish safety should come first when you're fishing in these situations. Don't just fish for a bite and to lose it, basically. But this new line from ESP that I've been field testing, that's due out I think around about September time, well, it swayed me from GR60, which I never thought I'd be done, and I really rate it. This is like, I've had quite a few fish on it now, and it's definitely up to the game. Sinks brilliantly. The visibility in the water, certainly in these edging, when you're stalking in the edge situations, you can't see it, which is going to give you another massive confidence boost if you can't even see the own line enter into the water. So that's the kit I would use in these sort of situations. This was actually on a bottom bait rig presentation with one of my own products, scattered baits chops. It was something, it's nothing new, as I said, something that's definitely been forgotten about, but definitely over Sutton over the years. Every carp associates danger with something round. So using a chop is obviously, one, changing their way that they have to feed, and two, there's no reason to be cautious of it because it's not round, you know. It definitely fooled a lot of the fish over Sutton for me over the years, and just definitely something I think's worth using, certainly in a stalking situation where you can actually see the fish coming in and picking the baits up. Whether they're big or small, they all need care. There's products I use. I have been pulled in the past, I'm not going to go into too much, but there's stuff that I rate. Oral Base is one, very cheap from a chemist, a couple of £, and Sudocream's another one. As I said, always look for the hook hold, any scales that have lifted, anything like that, because it's going to make another angler very happy, you know, so you want these fish in tip-top condition, and it's just a little bit of respect, and it's all about fish care. The 17-pound mirror that you saw on the bank was caught from this little bay here. As you can see, it's a nice little bay, got a set of snags there, and basically what we was watching, I had the fish coming in from left and from right. Not massive ones, but big enough. It was a good opportunity, and like I said, basically what we done, got a handful of pellet, only a small handful. You don't need to go mad in these situations, little and often's better, you know, make them keep coming back and looking for it rather than a big bed of bait just sat there. So we put a little bit of pellet down. And as I said, about 6 to 10 chops, that's it. Yeah, again, these sort of situations are critical. You don't need to go in heavy-handed. What you want is the fish to come in. They're almost grazing, one at a time, coming in, moving off, coming back in, or you get another 1 or 2 fish coming. A bit of competition, but there's not massive amount of bait down there. So this is basically all we've done. That's what I'm talking. That sort of amount of pellet, that is all you need. And as I said, it's basically finished off with 5 or 6 chops. Now you can see why the little 6-foot tree rod come into its own. In situations like this, with the Dower 2600, a perfect little stalking situation. And as I said, just touching it again quick and briefly, that is why I rate this ESP line at the moment. Look at the situation and the line held up to its job. Another stunning carp from this venue. I was lucky enough earlier to have one out at the edge. This has been an open water tactics. Chuddies, nice pink fluoro, out into the plateau area, 11 foot of water, with the old anchovy as free offerings. So, it was a pink fluoro, more of a winter bait. Just fished over some food bait, which is an anchovy. Probably about 1.5 kilos of pellet, grinded down, basically ground bait. So, and chodded. Something which does annoy me in carp fishing nowadays is everyone goes on, it's got to be 30, 40. Size is irrelevant. As long as you're catching, and I'll emphasise it again, you keep catching, the big ones will come, you know. When you're catching carp like this, which are pearlers, why do they need to be big?